Hello everyone, Allie here, and welcome to the Gold Mine. Thank you for joining me here on another episode at Allie's Treasure Trove. Today we are back yet again with another episode here in the Allie Plays August Takeover featuring the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are coming to an end most likely very, very quickly here with the first game in this double pack. So the Great Ace Attorney Adventures Volume 1. We are in game episode number 5, Investigation Part 4, which is the most amount of investigating that we've actually had in the game so far. And actually, I think the longest case to my knowledge, having about 5 parts. So we're on part 4, maybe of part 5, maybe out of 6. Maybe the game will end abruptly here after this investigation. I have no idea. As I mentioned in the very first episode of this playthrough here, my knowledge of the game is that Sherlock Holmes has copyright issues still in the United States, so he's Sherlock Holmes. This is Phoenix Wright's ancestor here as Ryunosuke, and I've heard that this first game ends on a massive cliffhanger. So, of course, with the double pack, we do have Great Ace Attorney Adventures 2 to get on into next, but we'll see. It seems like that game will have about 22 different episodes to be shown here on the channel. Actually, Steven let me know the amount of parts, because I didn't want to look at that, because you can check that out, find out that information going and scrolling through like a walkthrough, where, you know, how it saves, like at the beginning of the game, you guys see that little, well, at the end of each part here where it saves and it says investigation part whatever, or trial part whatever. How many of those individual parts, because that's what I've just been using as the milestones here for episodes as we go through the game. Looks like that one has about 22. So no matter what we do, we're going to carry over into September, whether I take a couple days rest or not. I'm assuming the massive cliffhanger will lead me to not take a day off, maybe just one, maybe just like a little rest day. So that way I'm not like always worried about if I have a really long day at work, I've already caught up an extra day. So not have to worry about like no matter what, I do have to come in every single day and record for you guys. Having a blast, but some days where I'm doing a lot at the shop, definitely the length, really, I can feel it. So we'll see. Might just take a day off, but depending on the cliffhanger, we might not be able to stop and keep this Allie takeover train going. We might, maybe something crazy. Who knows? Like I said, for all I know, Investigation Part 4 finishes off in-game episode number 5. That would be crazy. I don't know how we could wrap everything up. Spoiler alert, not possible to do so. There's too many unanswered questions for it to be finished here. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, back to actually what we're doing in game. That was about 3 minutes of nothing. We are back into Windibank's pawnbrokery. If you guys forgot, Gina has been accused of the murder of Mr. Windibank. Mr. Windibank is done. Unfortunately, I did like his character, but that's what the plot wanted. The plot wanted no Mr. Windibank, so we're Windibankless here. Gina has been charged formally with murder, and her trial is tomorrow. Also, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart, who is very, very suspicious, says Susato's dad's in danger. He's ill, not doing very well, and Susato's returning to Japan tomorrow morning. So Susato's leaving, Gina's getting accused of murder, Mr. McGilded is the penguin, don't know what's going on here. Sholmes is still in surgery, we have no idea what's going on. Like I said, too many unanswered questions. We gotta get into it. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. Look at those eyebrows. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please?
What is it now? You should go home and get some rest. Here you are, Gregsy. Here are the representation papers. Your ladyship! Oh! I don't believe it! How the devil did she get that stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you! That is good work, that is! I can see you've been very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue. Yo, Iris, can I get some of that? Iris, I need that. Iris, help. You know, the speech bubble said he was glugging, so let me go ahead and crack open my final mini bottle here of Diet Dr. Pepper. I'll even hold it up to the mic so you guys can get some ASMR bottle noises. Alright, I don't know how much of that actually got picked up by the microphone, but I did lean in real close to the mic
with my throat and swallow the Diet Dr. Pepper. So you might have gotten some glug noises, maybe not, but I attempted my best. Oh, he's so happy.
Ah, lovely. Well, let's see now. Yes, I hardly feel tired at all. I'm as fit as a fiddle, your ladyship.
Would it be alright if we investigate the scene of the crime then?
Do as you please.
Easy. Greg's an easy to bribe. Easy. Thanks, Iris.
You know where it happened, through that door behind the counter.
Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Windibank and Gina. Can we investigate the bloody date sign? That's suspicious. That's suspicious as heck.
Right, well, I'll be getting back to business then.
Will you be investigating the storeroom as well, Inspector?
If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to be spending too much time on it. There are so many articles to go through, it's taking forever, even with the lads working around the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the yard needs to investigate urgently.
And that must be what Lord Strongheart means by far more serious matters before.
So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine!
Come then! Let us not waste any time! That's true, you're in a time crunch too, Susanto. Susanto has to pack. I would like to examine the bloody sign. I believe this right here proves Gina innocent. I don't know how, but I feel like it does. That is the first thing I noticed when we walked in here. I was like, oh, no, just like that meme. When we walked in here, before Sholmes got shot, I was like, there's something going down in here. I'm spooked and I don't like it. But actually, you know what this reminds me? This reminds me I didn't take off my hotkey. I don't even put the unsnap back on during the week, because I don't actually need it. Over at Titan Cars, I just have one video today. And I remembered to put it on before I got started, but before we got started here, I didn't take it off. But for the weekend, I do need the Q and the Z keys, but I only put the Q back on. That's the snap key. Just because I can unsnap after the video's done. I don't need a hotkey. I think I normally do it that way anyways. But anyway, so I've taken my one hotkey off. Ah, look here.
Oh yes, a bullet hole! And I can see the bullet is still lodged in the wall!
Presumably, Mr. Windibank wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time.
Ah, well... Mr. Sholmes likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that.
Sorry?
It's all there in the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, you know. Isn't that right, Iris?
Ah, did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps.
In jest?
Yeah, he ingests the bullets. You know, Hurley, he's weird like that. So those of you who don't actually watch the video, namely my mom just listens to it like an audiobook, at least 50% of the time. I know she watches it, but she mainly listens. I feel like most of my narration here actually isn't in the actual text box. I'm making up a lot of stuff. Having a lot of ad-libs. I hope you guys enjoy the alley ad-libs here. Well, he doesn't do it often. It's quite dangerous pastime. He doesn't do it often. He shouldn't even do it once. Forget that for now, Runo. Let's examine this bullet. I think the exact scene of the crime of the murder of Mr. Windibank occurred in not the storeroom. Whatever you'd call this. The shop room? The storefront? There we go. That sounds like the proper word. I don't go in the shop anymore. What's the shop? I don't know. That's why I'm so glad that the new guy that runs the tournaments and whatnot, Bossman, got him all trained before he was out a week and a half sick, because I don't want to be in there. I like being locked in my corner the entire time. What's that around the bullet hole? That's a lot of blood. Yes, Ryunosuke, Jesus. Use your eyes, man, use your eyes. It looks like a big blood stain. A suspicious red stain on the calendar.
Ah, I may well be able to help with that.
What? There's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Runo? I have a feeling I'm not as bloody-minded as you, Iris.
Well, you know, I'm a weird 10-year-old child genius. I like the sight of blood.
Piques my interest, if I do say so myself. All right, Iris, calm down.
I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold.
There you have it, you see?
When it comes to blood, we're all different types.
Iris, get your pun out of here. Yes, what a scientific observation.
So you need these.
Oh no, what is that scary looking thing?
Hurley and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet. But as soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch.
Oh, jeez. Oh, it's pink. Nice.
What?
Why did the blood turn green? Oh, the color of the blood stain has changed.
There. Does it make sense now?
No. Iris, what? Ryunosuke says, yes, I think I'm starting to understand.
Good. It works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see?
Yes! How wonderful! Oh, maybe I'm the only one that didn't understand what Iris was doing. Okay, so it reacts to the blood type, so I guess that's who we can identify who it belongs to. That's how the case is solved. Blood types. I don't actually know what my blood type is. I've been told I should figure that out. I don't know what it is. @Mom, let me know what my blood type is after you see this video, thanks.
Yes, how wonderful! The chemical it fires combines with the blood, makes it change color. So you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at in a flash.
Oh, what a fabulous invention, Iris!
Isn't it? Isn't it? I bet Ginny would say it's bleeding great.
So whose blood are we looking at then?
Well, that's a good question, Runo. I don't know. Well, all the chemical does is turn the blood a different color, so just find someone whose blood turns the same color and you'll know who it belongs to in a flash.
It's more like 2 flashes, really, isn't it?
1 flash or 2. This could well turn out to be a very valuable clue. So we must make note of it in the court record.
Knew it. I knew it'd be important. Called it. 12 minutes in the episode.
Let's keep testing and adding the results of any other blood analysis to the portfolio.
All right.
As long as I have reagent left, sure.
Reagent. That's what that word is. I thought I saw... Oop, I clicked out of the window. I thought I saw blood up here the other night. Might have been the corner of the books looks a little red. I thought we had blood in there, but... This is how we get into the storeroom.
Behind that door
is the storeroom, isn't it?
That's what Gregsy said.
Yes, and that's where I saw that dreadful scene last night. Through the little window in the door. See, it's nice for convenience sake to be able to peek in the storeroom by looking in the window. But also, couldn't you just stick like a metal hanger and then prop open the door from the inside? Like, it doesn't have to be locked. You could just reach. Probably if you're someone like you got basketball arms, probably just reach in there and unlock or lock the door as needed through that little window. Hey, I mean, there was that really, really tall guy. And then I don't know if the other guy was short in the silhouettes, or if he was just regular size and then the other dude was just super tall. Maybe the other guy could just reach in there and be like, oh no, it had to be Gina because she was in there. Be like, yeah, well, what if you could just reach in and lock/unlock it? Easy. Solve the case. Easy. That's it. Stopping the episode. We don't need to go. We don't need to go on. Mr. Windibank face down on the floor with Gina beside him.
As the accused legal representative, you have the right to examine the scene, Mr. Naruhodo. We must make a thorough investigation.
Yes, of course. Let's go spray that blood, see if it turns green. And we will. Behind that door. That's the real scene of the crime.
Don't worry. If there are clues in there, I'll find them.
I do actually trust Iris to help us find stuff. Oh, I can't click on the broken glass. That's rude. Shovels. Oh! Does this get me a step closer to my shovel argument? No, I don't think so. There's the article here and Mr. Windibank's notes, and why is there another picture of the cat? What's this? It looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind.
Oh! Look in the back! There's some writing!
Is there? Oh, show us, Susie, show us! For Mr. McGilded. Nah. 15th February, 10:30 p.m. Article deposited, 1 gentleman's overcoats. Loan amount paid, £1. Redemption deadline, 15th April, 10:30 p.m. Alright, so this is the original ticket that Gina got from Beppo. Gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1. It was clearly a very fine coat. In fact, I think... Yes, this must be the ticket for the overcoat that Ginny redeemed yesterday. And is still wearing, which belonged to McGilded. It's the McGilded. I would have never expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph, though. Seems like Mr. Windibank just used whatever piece of paper he happened to have to hand. So that means we should investigate our photograph. But this photograph of a cat looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen this exact same picture somewhere recently. Oh yes, you're right, very recently. It's the same as the one Ginny gave us earlier. Of course, I was forgetting that she gave us that print.
Well, what are you waiting for then, Mr. Naruhodo? Get it out!
All right, let the cogs turn. Let me be tired, Susanto. I was up all night. So were you.
Yes, they are exactly the same.
Well, if the one on the counter was used as a redemption ticket, perhaps the other photograph that Gina gave us has something written on the back, too. That's one thing I don't like about these games, like you manually have to flip it over. It's like you didn't just look at your item when you got it. It's like, oh no, where'd this come from? Be like, what? Should have been known. Been known that there was writing on the back. Anyways. Hey, I've got it. These two photographs hide an amazing secret. A secret? What does she mean?
You must tell us, Iris, at once.
Hey, do you really want to know? Yes, we need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. Iris, tell us about the photographs. No, I want to look at the court record. I'll do it myself. One small box. Oh, this was due a few days before. Look on the back of this print here. There's something written on it.
13 February, 9 p.m. Article deposited, one small box. Loan amount paid, 10 shillings. Redemption deadline, 13th April, 9 p.m.
So this photographic print is a redemption ticket?
For an article that was deposited 2 days prior to the incident on the omnibus, it would seem.
Yes, a small box. That doesn't tell us much about it, does it? Perhaps it contains some valuable mementos?
I can't help wondering. Presumably, Mr. McGilded never redeemed the article in question since he still had the ticket. So it isn't possible that the box is still present somewhere in the shop?
Ah, yes. If it's something McGilded deposited, we need to investigate. All right. Why do I feel like that's the music box that you could probably put the CD that they don't... Well, not CD, but the disc. I feel like it's the music box to the disc. So, Iris, about these two photographic prints. The one we found here on Mr. Windibank's counter and the one Gina gave us before. What is this amazing secret you mentioned that's hidden between these two identical prints? Actually, that's not quite right. Sorry? If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly. They're not? Isn't the cat's head a little bit turned? Have another look at them now. The cat's looking a little off to the left in the left picture, right? And the other one's more dead on. Am I losing my mind? Snowman looks the same. 2 sheets of paper in the back. The hat. The nose. Can you see that they're just slightly different from each other? I think so. It's very subtle, though. Like this one is staring this way, and the other one was just directly.
But what's the reason for the subtle differences between the two prints?
Ah, well, it's because they're a set, you see? No, I don't. This pair of photographs is meant to be used in a stereoscope. Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment. Nah, a stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently?
Because I was saying how there's black magic, Renosuke. No, yes, that's what Mr. Sholmes showed us yesterday. The black magic machine in the corner by the door. You see, there it is, just over there.
Oh yes, of course. That magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch.
Well, actually, it's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions. What, really? Do you know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place? No, I have no idea. Oh, wonderful. Then I'll be able to tell you. She's over the moon, bless her. Should we let her explain, though? We really need to carry on investigating the scene. I, for one, simply have to know. Yes, Iris, tell us. Have you ever considered, Runo, how our eyes see depth in the world around us? Well, I just open them and it works. But the reason it works is because we have two eyes. Two eyes? Shocking. If you try closing just one eye at a time, I think you'll see straight away. What you see with your left eye, what you see with your right eye, are ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye. Yeah, the perspective angle changes a little bit. Yes, the position of objects seems to shift slightly. Exactly. And in your head, your brain uses that shift to estimate depth as it merges the two views into one. So that's how we can sense depth in everything we see. My brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me. I think I see. So the pair of photographs consist of a left eye view and a right eye view. Is that right? Oh, well done, Susie. You're so quick. So, if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'll be able to see depth in these prints? Yes, Bruno, you're beginning to understand. And a stereoscope's function is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that. Yes, but as long as you have two images, two eyes, and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all. You can, really? Yeah, you can hold them side by side and then go cross-eyed a little bit, right? And it merges it for you. Let's try it. Let's see if you can view this pair of prints without the help of a stereoscope. Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go. Susato-san really loves this kind of thing. This is Susato-san's last hurrah before her voyage. You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you both do that? Cross my eyes? I think I can. Watch me. See if you can copy. Make your eyes do this. All right, let me try. Are you ready, Mr. Naruto?
This is a funny picture.
There, how's that? Wonderful. Now it's your turn, Runo. The trick is to concentrate. The trick is to concentrate on looking at the bridge of your nose with both eyes at the same time. Not exactly an easy task when two people are staring at you cross-eyed. All right, that's enough practice. Now let's try it, looking at the prints. Are we gonna see a 3D cute cat? Start by staring at one print and slowly crossing your eyes. You should see two overlapping images like this. You try now, Runo. I'm just going to have to give it a try, I suppose. Did the print split into two images for you? Now the next step is to put the pair of prints side by side like this, and then try crossing your eyes again. The prints should slowly merge together until they form a new single image in the center. Oh, yes! Mr. Naruhodo, it works! I can see it in the middle now! It looks so real! Oh, I can look at it all day!
No, I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start to hurt.
Your turn, Runo! Pretend you're looking through the two pictures and slowly cross your eyes. Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the two images overlap exactly in the middle. Like this, is it?
Oh, I'm gonna actually try it. I might need to actually scoot real close to the computer screen, though.
Oh, it worked!
Whoa, that was wild. Bruh, I know what Susanto's going on about. That is some black magic. What the heck? Those are some cute cats. That's a cute cat, though. My eyes hurt now, though. There, you managed it. So now you know how to stereoscopic images work.
Well, I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary.
That was a cute little detour. Do I get an achievement for that? Iris, can I have an achievement, my ladyship? So what do you think of the stereoscopic prints then, Runo? They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly. No, some people find it easier than others. But that's why contraptions like this exist, for people who find it tricky.
Oh, I recognize that. I almost broke that the other day and then Mr. Sholmes yelled at us. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we? If I remember correctly, you press this little knob here. Then set the pair of photographs in the stand at the back and...
It's still amazing, even though I know roughly how it works now. Well, London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one of these folding contraptions in lots of households in the capital currently. But if these little machines are so affordable, surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at pictures like you hate them. But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effect with your own eyes. Well, I think so in any case. Stereoscopic pictures. I'd never even heard of them until yesterday. We've certainly learned a lot about them, but I wonder if it's knowledge that I'll ever actually need. Alright, the second print. Put in the court record. Alright, let's go into the storeroom. Alright, new location. Alright, I see some blood. There's a bike in here. I wonder where the manuscript is. It was in a little box, right? So maybe in one of these, maybe in this. Maybe it was stolen from here. In here, maybe? But we're in a storeroom. Poor Iris. She's clammed up completely.
Iris is bound to find this difficult. After all, Mr. Winterbank's life was taken in this very room only last night.
Hello there, Gregson. Ah! Wait, Inspector! What is it now, Sunshine? You took one look at me and tried to run away. You think a Scotland Yard inspector would run away from some jumped-up little defense lawyer? Do you? He's trying to dodge Iris being sad. He doesn't want to look at it. To be fair, I don't want to look at it either. I've never seen her ladyship looking like that before is the thing. And I didn't know what to say to her. So you weren't running away from me. You were running away from a 10-year-old. Well, when you put it like that, it makes me sound worse.
I'm afraid this is all a little much for young Iris. Some gentle reassurance might go a long way, perhaps, Inspector.
Eh? Don't trouble yourself unduly, your ladyship. I mean, at least you're not dead, are you?
I'm not dead, but what if Mr. Sholmes is dead?
No, I don't think that went very well. Why? Look, I'm in the middle of an investigation here, Sunshine, and I told you not to get under my feet.
And we have investigating to do ourselves.
Yes. I'd like to hear more of what the socially inept inspector has to say.
Oh, Hurley.
and inquire into how Mr. Sholmes' operation is going. All right, hello. Hello, Gregson. Gregsy. Learn about the scene of the crime. So, Inspector, what do you make of the crime scene here? Sure, you got eyes, haven't you? Use them! It is what it looks like, nothing more, nothing less. Wow, so helpful, thank you. Iris, could you lend me a hand? So, Gregsy, what do you make of the crime scene here? Oh yes, your ladyship, do allow me to humbly explain. Last night, and shortly after the hour of 1 o'clock in the morning, Scotland Yard police attended the scene. The one and only door to this storeroom was found locked from the inside. So it was locked from the inside. The lock appears to be broken now, though. Was that the police officers doing? Quite right, ma'am, quite right. We took the liberty of smashing the door in as humbly as possible. Oh. As you can see, the victim was discovered prostrate on the floor, thuswise. Next to the aforementioned body, we discovered the vile gutter child. Are you talking about Ginny? She's my friend, you know, Inspector. Miss Lestrade, the hapless girl, was curled up on the floor, dead to the world. She's still alive, you know. Yes, when I saw her, she appeared to be unconscious. And I'm afraid to say she had the gun that was used in her hand. No! Presumably, it's the gun that's still down there on the floor now. In her pocket, we found the key to the door as well. What? The key to the storeroom? And you say the storeroom had been locked from the inside, Inspector? Correct, all of which leaves her ladyship's friends. In something of a sticky situation, I'm afraid. Obviously, my personal opinion is that it's all some sort of misunderstanding. And of course it is, Inspector, of course it is. Gregsy, do you know anything about Hurley? Is the operation finished? Is Hurley all right? Is he? The thing is, don't mince your words, Inspector, please. You don't mean to say that Mr. Sholmes is... No, the operation's done and dusted. It's just that, well, out with it! Take him down, Susato. Yes, ma'am! They use something called a general anesthetic. It's the latest thing, renders the whole body insensitive. The whole body? Anesthetized? Is that even possible? Means the operation can be completed while the patient is fast asleep. Goodness, in the Empire of Japan, we could just manage to provide laughing gas for his tooth extraction. The trouble is, the latest thing isn't always the greatest thing, if you follow my meaning. They couldn't get the medication to work at first, so it took hours for them to nod off, or so I hear. Now that the op's finished, they can't get him to wake up, apparently. Oh my! No one knows if it's the anesthetic still in the system, or if the bloke's just plain exhausted. But anyway, all they can do is stand back and watch till he comes around again. Alright, well that's good news, I suppose. Hurley. The moment he opens his eyes, your ladyship, I swear I shall get word to you. What a surprise. Even in matters of life and death, Mr. Sholmes has to do things his way. Alright, thank you, Gregsy. Let's touch some stuff in here. Start with the speaker. Look at all these articles that have been deposited. The room is stuffed full of them. I can't believe how many there are. A bicycle, a gramophone, musical instruments, even some enormous paintings, look! Pieces of different people's lives quietly gathering dust here together. There's something very peaceful about that atmosphere in here. Or at least there would be, if not for the chalk outline on the floor and the policeman shuffling around. Not much I can do about that, sunshine! Alright, got some bottles over here. Alright, that takes care of all this stuff. Let's click on the blood stain. And the police have marked the position of the body with the chalk line. Iris, spray it. Poor Mr. Windibank, he was a nice old man. Well, he was shot just once through the heart. Oof. Most likely the fellow died instantly.
He wouldn't have felt the thing. I mean, that's good at least, I suppose. This must be his blood then. How much you want to bet it doesn't turn green?
I don't like to ask at such a wretched time, Iris, but I wonder if perhaps...
Don't worry, Susie. I'm ready for action. Yep, not green.
So, now we know the color the chemical turns when it reacts with Mr. Windibank's blood.
And then it doesn't match our analysis of the bloodstain we found in the main shop.
No, but let's add this sample to the others we've already collected anyway.
Oh, why doesn't it? Because I can click twice. Iris? Don't worry, I'm alright. But we must find the true culprit.
Yes, absolutely.
Alright. What about this box? This box is open. Suspicious. And of all the articles in the storeroom, this is the only thing that shows any sign of being ransacked. Ah! What is it, Iris? That's the box file that my manuscript was being kept in.
Oh!
Iris' unpublished story, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Surely that's not what all this... Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you.
We must check inside the box at once.
Yes. Ah!
It was there. Iris' story was there.
Really? It was? Well, that's good news, isn't it, Iris? Yes. I mean, of course I believed Hurley when he said he deposited here, but still. It's a relief to actually see it. Really? Because that's not a very well hidden frown. Yeah, because Iris isn't stupid, Ryunosuke. Iris knows Susato knows something. Doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. Alright, we gotta click on the gun skis. This is a revolver, a real one.
And quite possibly the murder weapon used to take Mr. Windibank's life.
What's the matter, Susie? You and Bruno look like you're about to faint.
Well, it's just that I've rarely seen a gun in the flesh.
And I've had issues with guns in the past. But anyway, we saw Mr. Windibank with this yesterday, didn't we? Oh yes, when he kept threatening to kill him though. I shall have to take my own life. It must be the same gun. And last night, when I looked through the spy hole in the door into the storeroom here, that was the same gun I saw in Gina's hand.
Mr. Windibank told us that he only ever had a single bullet load in his revolver, didn't he?
Well, it's empty now. The one and only bullet he had in his gun has been fired. So we can be fairly certain that only a single shot was fired from this revolver. Alright. Seems like pertinent information. Only one shot. We got one chance. Mom's spaghetti. Alright, that seems to be all here. Huh. Let's go back to the main shop, see if there's anything there I missed. Didn't we click on this already? That ledger that's open on the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? Must be an awful lot of work to keep track of all these hundreds of items in pawn. It's too much to think about. Better to sell it all and have a clear head if you ask me.
but clearly Mr. Windibank was very careful when it came to the articles in his care. Alright. Maybe talk to these people. The police are scouring every inch of this place by the look of it. Instructions from the yard are to examine every article in the shop and every ledger and book of accounts. Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work, surely? We've been hard at it ever since the shop was declared a crime scene in the early hours. We're sifted through all in the shifts at least, but still, we'll be working through the night, that's for sure. And even then, we'll barely have scratched the surface. The crime and a pawnbroker's. Must be every policeman's worst nightmare. It's every copper's worst nightmare, you know, crime and a pawnbroker's. Alright, thank you, sir. Why don't we just put the disc in here? Why have we not tried that yet? That's a music box. Do you have them where you come from, Runo? Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan. Oh well, this will be a treat. Shall we have a listen? What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound? It's a beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks. Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gregsy to have a word. Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. These shelves are where the pawnbroker puts articles that have been forfeited on display for customers to buy. Yes, it's a really strange miscellany, isn't it? I mean, who would buy this horse statue, for example? Well, sometimes you can find some real treasures among all the junk, you know. Are you alright, Runo? Oh, it's just, well, it looks like a collection of useless junk as a whole, but when you pick out individual things, you can't help wishing you owned them. Even that horse statue. That's exactly how the pawnbroker works. They're very clever. Renosuke's like, but I want a horse statue. Even though I just talk smack about it, I want my own horse statue. This is that strange contraption that lets you see pictures of things as if they're right in front of your eyes. Makes you think. Mr. Sholmes gleefully showed it to us yesterday. We were blissfully unaware that any of this was about to happen. Talk to him. Let's click on this and then we'll do that. That seems more important. Fairly sure this contraption was here yesterday as well. Here we are, though I'm not confident I can get it closed again. Oh, yes! That's a folding stereoscope! Really? This is a stereoscope? Mr. Sholmes showed us a picture yesterday that you were supposed to be able to see in 3 dimensions. But for that, he used the great big contraption over there. Ah, well, that's for use in public houses and places like that. It contains a carousel with all sorts of pictures inside. But this little thing is a much simpler design for use at home. There are special shops selling prints you could use in them. I have a little collection myself. I wonder if I could make money out of these in Japan. It would beat keeping my toilet sparking clean anyways. Green blood. It just seems wrong somehow. Oh, there are all sorts of different colors. There are pretty pinks and purples too, you know. Like I said, everyone's blood is different. I wonder what color my blood would turn out. Actually, I don't want to know. Alright, let's talk to this Bobby. This officer has been staring intently at the walls since before we came in here. Shh, keep it down. Oh, sorry. There's a major clue just there. Really? Then we must tell Gregsy at once. But as soon as I report it, that'll be it. I'll be stuck here even longer. Stuck here? What do you mean? I haven't been home in 2 days already. Need another constable to relieve me and take over shift. They really have a tough time, the British police. It doesn't stop us investigating though, does it? No, I suppose not. I'm fairly sure it's the calendar he was peering at. Alright, we looked at that again. Huh, not sure what else we're supposed to click on. Let's go back in the room. Maybe I was supposed to take care of this beforehand. The wrong button. The wrong button. I'm literally clicking the buttons on the screen, and it's still not the right buttons. Alright. Let's move. Back in the storeroom. See if I missed anything. What's actually, I want to know what you have to say about the blood portfolio. Inspector Gregson, could you give me your opinion about this, do you think?
No, I'm busy. We don't tend to share sunshine, not with the general public.
In that case, Gregsy, how about some herbal tea? Chugging it. Just right chugging it.
Ah, lovely. Not very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship.
You don't mind sharing that then? No. No, I meant, circling around. Look at Allie pushing the wrong buttons. Alright, let's examine. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Huh. Actually, maybe we go back into the regular area. Let's be like, yo, Iris. What's up with this manuscript, BB? Yo, what's up, girl? Look at this Iris script. Manuscript. I like it. It's pink. It's pink. That's a lot of pages. Isn't it? Oh, my manuscript. Mr. Shalom said he deposited Windibanks, and he had. But it's so strange. What is it about this particular story? I worked so hard on it. Why would Hurley say that I can't publish it? I'm afraid I have no idea. All you can do is wait until he's ready to tell you, I suppose. Oh, maybe. It's because Hurley isn't in it enough. Maybe I didn't give him enough good lines. Yes, maybe. And I wish I could say that definitely isn't the reason, but I can't. Alright, Iris. Let's go see if Herlock's out of being out of commission. This is not where I meant to go. Alright, nope. Let's go hang out with Gina. This is what we're supposed to be doing. I'm surprised this is the first time I've had to do this in this game. Most of the time in Ace Attorney games, I'm like, I don't know where to go next, and I have to click on a bunch of different stuff until I find a text box that procs. But I figured it out here. Case 5 at the end of the game finally happened, but perhaps it's a testament to my mental abilities to predict what we're supposed to be doing, or I just small brain this one this time. I don't know. I'm assuming we're going to ask Gina about the blood, maybe, and about the manuscript. Gina doesn't appear to be here. Okay, well maybe this wasn't the right spot to come to.
I believe she must be in questioning at the moment.
Oh, but wait a minute. What is it, Iris? Well, if you examine the scene here carefully, there's another possibility, isn't there? Ginny could have slipped the key from the jailer when he wasn't looking and escaped.
Oh my!
Why would she do something like that? It would only make her situation worse. Calm down, Runo. I was only joking, of course. Oh. You had me worried there. Thought it was a great deduction.
Yes, it must be your way with words, Iris. You're so wonderfully persuasive. Perhaps you don't fully understand the weight your words carry.
That's kind of rude, Susanto. Oh dear, I'm sorry. I suppose a light-hearted great detective is a contradiction in terms. Well, in the same situation, I'm sure Mr. Sholmes would have just thrown his head back and guffawed.
I'm not entirely sure that's helpful, Mr. Naruto.
Well, anyway, it looks like we won't be able to talk to Gina for a while. We should try to make progress with our investigation in the meantime. Yes, come along then, Runo. Come along, Susie. Alright, so this is not the right place to go. Where am I going? Where am I supposed to go? Let's go to Baker Street. See if there's anything outside. Let's click on this stuff. There's still a Scotland Yard carriage outside Windibanks. I never imagined we'd be investigating a case so close to home. Poor Iris, she's very upset by all this. I'm sorry. I was there. I should have done more. None of this is your fault, Bruno. So please, don't apologize. But it's the criminals who are to blame for all this. So let's investigate and work out how to catch them. Yes, you're right. All right. I must have missed something. Do. All right. Let's examine. Oh wait, aren't there security cameras we could check? Wait a minute. Weren't they up here? Alright, guess not. Suppose not. Unfortunate, really. Ooh. Oh. We also go back in the storeroom. Nothing here. I wonder. Maybe we present something else? Maybe we have to examine. Maybe we have to examine the manuscript. We haven't actually examined the manuscript. Maybe this will pop something. The Hound of the Baskervilles? How did Susanto-san know the exact title of this unpublished story? And I suppose I'll just have to wait until she's ready to explain it to me. I'm sorry. The only thing I can think of that we did different. And if anything would change here. Let's go back in there, see if he has something to say this time. No? Ooh, tricky. Wonder what the small box is. This is, oh wait, we should spray the ticket. We should spray the ticket. Missing Naruhodo!
I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something rather troubling here.
I have noticed.
A red smear, you mean?
Yes, it looks like blood, doesn't it? And I wonder if Susanto-san had picked up on that. Well, in that case...
Yes, we need Iris.
We should show this to her before we forget. Ah, so we need to present this to Iris. I think that's probably what it was that needed us to trigger. Alright, let's move to the main shop. Oh, that looks like blood. I would say it's from a gloved finger, almost certainly a glove made of leather. Well, don't worry, Runo, you can leave the rest to me. It turned purple. Alright, this is somebody's different blood. Yes, that's a color we haven't seen before, isn't it?
We simply must add it to the portfolio of blood samples. It could be an important clue. Although, it would be nice to find out whose blood these different colors correspond to at some point.
Well, this particular stain of blood. Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? Do you know whose blood this is? This is for the coat. Is Gina's blood? No idea. I don't know. How could I? We don't have a known sample of the same color. Without that, it's impossible to know.
Oh, how very vexing.
I wonder. What? Well, it's true that the color doesn't help us. But what about considering how the mark came to be in there in the first place? You might have an idea about that. Mightn't you, Runo? Not if you keep staring at me like that, no. Let's try that again, shall we? Well, this particular stain of blood? Oh, you've had an idea, haven't you? You know whose blood this is? Sure I do, Iris. Yes, I have an idea whose blood it is. Not from the color it turned, but with a little deduction. That's right. I think it's clear.
Iris, you know as well?
You first, Bruno. Who do you think it belongs to? Alright, I believe that this is the blood of... Well, if it came from a glove, then it's... Thrice-fired Mason. You don't sound very sure of yourself the way you trailed off there. Well, it was 2 months ago now, that case. And of course, I'd never met the victim, so I'm struggling to remember his name. He was definitely thrice-fired, though.
The victim? Of the omnibus case? Yes, his name was indeed Mr. Thrice-fired Mason. But that would mean that this bloodstain was left on the ticket 2 months ago.
Yes, I think it was. Gina brought this ticket here to Windibanks yesterday. I'm suggesting that the bloodstain was already on it at that time. So it's a smear of blood from the time that Mr. Mason was killed 2 months ago.
Something else is coming back to me now. Mr. McGilton was also wearing leather gloves that night.
Now I ask you, what's a good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? Reached out to give the man a hand. A hand with a knife in it. And it certainly does look like a leather glove thumbprint, this mark. But we know that Mr. McGilden had no injuries at the time, anywhere on his body. From which we can conclude that any blood on the glove belonged to the victim, Mr. Mason.
Mr. Naruhodo, you sound just like Mr. Sholmes.
I sound like Mr. Sholmes? What's going on? I'm turning into Kermit, no!
Minus the quirky slip-ups, I hope. Yes, I think you're right, Runo.
Very well. Let's make a note of this.
Details of the pawnbroker's ticket for the coat have been updated. All right, we got a new blood sample. Doot, doot, Alright, I feel like that has to change something. I feel like that was important. Let's see if Greg Z has something to say. Nope. Hi. Let's go see if now we can go talk to Gina. Nope. Are we just back to where we started? Nope. I like this functionality here. This is cool. Wonder who has the green blood, though. Let's see if now there's anything else to click on. No. They may be clicking on the wrong stuff. Misclicks and Misadventures. Do. I don't... Let's go back in the storeroom. Is there anything else in the court record we need to investigate? Mr. Windibank appears to have used the back of this photograph to write out a redemption ticket. He's written it very neatly, but still, perhaps he ran out of paper, so he had to use anything he had to hand. It's hard to know what's for the front and what's the reverse side now. This is an adorable little cat. I think it looks a little like Wagahai. I always thought that cats like to curl up under the heated kotatsu blanket when it snowed. Maybe British cats are different. Actually, now we have both pictures. I could have another go at viewing them as a stereoscopic image. So, I need to cross my eyes and try to get the two cats to merge in the middle as one. It's such a hard thing to do. Whoever thought of this in the first place must have spent a long time staring. Alright, so that didn't yield anything. Man, I'm not sure what to do here. Inspector Gregson, could you give me your opinion about this, do you think?
No, I can't.
Nothing here. Let's just go everywhere, I assume. See how it goes. Oh, this looks like a telegram. It is, but you mustn't open it. Not under any circumstances.
Alright, I won't.
Now then, let's see. No, what did I just say? You mustn't open it.
Don't worry, I won't.
With this special concoction I've developed, I'll be able to see through the envelope without having to open it. No, that's not allowed either.
Oh, but I'm sure it's something important.
Little geniuses sure can be mischievous. Alright, I don't think this does it either. Nothing out of place. Nothing out of place. Let's try going back and talking to Gregson. I wonder if Gregson has anything. Maybe we need to... He doesn't seem to be receptive to presenting much, but... Maybe there's something we can show him? Maybe he knows where the small box is. I don't know. Inspector, what do you make of this?
What have we here, then? A redemption ticket?
No. This is completely the wrong voice. No. No. What have we here, then? A redemption ticket for an article deposited here, is it? Looks like someone ran out of office stationery and wrote the ticket on whatever paper was to hand. Yes, this is a ticket for Mr. McGilden's overcoat, the one the little driver turned up with yesterday. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Really? Think you know better than me, do you? No, I didn't mean to, Bruno's right, Gregsy. It isn't the same ticket. Of course it isn't, of course it isn't. I never doubted you, your ladyship. So, what's all this about then, if I might be so bold as to ask? This is a second ticket. A second one? Seems that Mr. McGilden, in fact, had another article in storage here at Windibanks. Is that right?
I think we need to discuss this further with the inspector, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, good, because he's ever so easy to talk to. There we go. This ticket was in one of the pockets of Mr. McGilden's overcoat.
Eh? You mean to tell me?
Yes, there was more than just the music box disc, it seems.
I should have insisted on the lads taking it back to the yard and examining it properly. Well, according to the details on this ticket, Mr. McGilden deposited another article here with Mr. Windibank.
Yes, I can see it written here. A small box, was it? Do you have any idea where it is, Gregsy? Any idea at all? It's another article belonging to Mr. McGilden. It could be an important clue.
Well, yes, I suppose it could be. Please, stop looking at me with those big turquoise eyes, all full of hope and expectation. It's too much pressure. I'll lose my marbles, I will. I'll go barking.
This is no time for dog impressions, Inspector.
That's no sauce from you, Sunshine. There is one thing that springs to mind. According to this ticket, the redemption deadline's already passed, hasn't it?
Oh yes, of course. Articles are only held for 2 months.
So the small box will no longer be in here then? That's right. It's been forfeited. Which means it could be on the shelves in front of the shop where the forfeited items are offered for sale.
Yes, the shelves in the front. We must search them at once.
You're wasting your time.
Oh.
There are dozens of little boxes out there, hundreds even. We can't possibly know which one might have been McGilden's. That information's not written in the ledger.
Ugh.
Well, I think we should at least have a look, just in case. Of course, your ladyship, of course. Very sensible of you, I'm sure.
This is getting old. Oop.
Ah!
I nearly jumped out of my skin there. How could Mr. Windibank set such a wicked trap? I doubt he sent out to scare anyone.
Is that really the time? I think perhaps we should pay Gina another visit soon.
Oh?
Her trial is tomorrow. We must establish whether or not you'll be defending her. I think we should ask her one more time. She may have changed her mind.
Don't you remember, Runo? You told her she could rip up the representation papers if she didn't want you to be her lawyer. Really? Did I say that? Yes, you did.
The deadline for submitting the paperwork is fast approaching.
In that case, we'd better hurry back to the prison and talk to Gina again. All right, let's move. We're on the move. We figured it out. And by we figured it out, there may or may not have been a big part of me poking around, not finding anything for a while, and having to look it up. But I figured easy. I knew it the whole time, right? Right? You guys believe me, right? Don't believe me. Anyways, it's 5:41. We're back to seeing Gina. Ah, Gina. Good. You're back. Eh.
The police must have finished questioning her then.
Oh, how was it, Ginny? Was it awful? Eh? Oh, didn't bother me. Thank you for the papers you signed before. It meant we were able to investigate at Windibanks. Oh, right? Don't you want to know how we got on? We've been ever so busy. What's the point asking? Won't change what everyone's saying? That I did it? That's not. Gina, we came to ask for your final decision. Eh? What decision? About tomorrow's trial. Will you let me defend you or not?
I must submit the paperwork now if you'd like Mr. Naruhodo to represent you.
Right, I see. She's really lost her fight all of a sudden. But I know what that feels like. The worry is just so hard to bear. Oh, all right then. Blimey, give it a rest with them eyes, Iris. Well, come on then. Fill us in. Who done it? Unfortunately, we don't know that yet. You don't say.
We don't know yet, Gina. But Mr. Naruhodo and all of us know that you are innocent of this crime.
And while we haven't yet managed to work out who the real culprit is, there are a number of interesting facts that we have managed to establish. Oh yeah? Like what? Well, for example, the reason for you being there in the first place. And I think I now know why you broke into Windibanks that night. Looks like I'm going to have to take some evidence that clearly reveals the reason and thrust it in Gina's face. Or I could present it to her calmly, I suppose. Iris has a nice signature with the little heart. Much better than mine. We found this in Mr. Windibank's storeroom. The manuscript of Iris's latest story. Ah? Oh, right. Well, that's good then. Curiously, the storeroom at Windibanks showed no sign of being ransacked for items of value or the like. With one exception. The box file that housed this manuscript. It was you, wasn't it, Gina, who broke open the box containing this manuscript last night? Eh? You were determined to find out whether or not the Hound of the Baskervilles was really there. That's the real reason you broke into the storeroom last night, isn't it? Ah! Why don't you tell us what happened, please? Let's talk about this too, before we get into that.
You already have the representation papers and other documents we need.
All we have to do is hand them to the court clerk. That is, if you'll allow me to represent you in court tomorrow. Nah, don't bother. Ginny! Rip 'em up and chuck 'em, would ya? Them representation papers or whatever they're called. This cell ain't fancy enough to have a bin. So, what will you do in court tomorrow? I'll be fine on my own. I don't think you will be. Look, it don't matter. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. This is one stubborn pickpocket. Alright, yeah, this Baskerville story. It's the latest Sholmes adventure, right? But it ain't been printed yet. So I figured, It's gonna be worth a fair few pieces of silver, right?
Oh yes, at least 5,000 pounds.
What? So, you intended to sell Iris's manuscript, did you?
Oh, Jenny, how could you?
What? Wait, no, hang on. Of course I weren't gonna sell it. All I wanted to do was find out if the mantle script, or whatever you call it, really was there or not. That's the only reason I was in the place.
For Iris's sake. Isn't that right?
Ah, we knew that's why you'd done it from the start, Gina. Of course we did. But
I knew you wouldn't do anything mean like that, Jenny. I just knew it.
well, when I saw the manuscript in the storeroom, it reminded me of what you'd said the night before. Growing up to do a lot worse than that, believe me. Bad-faced liars, the lot of them. You ain't realized it yet? I'm telling you, that mantle script ain't a Windibanks. You'd soon see if you'd look. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript as somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Oh, Jenny, that was so sweet of you. All right. I'll tell you why I did it. Just stop looking at me like that, Iris. Weren't because of Iris. That's not why I did it. I just wanted to know the truth, that's all.
You wanted to know if Mr. Sholmes was being honest? If he really deposited the manuscript in Windibanks?
It's like I told you the night before. I never had a father. But Iris's lot ain't like mine. She's got a dad, only she can't see him. And I reckon that's gotta be harder. That's why she writes the stories. They're about her dad, really. That's what it sounded like to me, anyway. Last night when I was listening to what you were saying.
Stories about Daddy?
You mean they're not the adventures of a great detective? So much as the adventures of a great detective and his trusty partner? Well, that's how I see it, yeah.
You're so thoughtful and kind, Jenny. Yes, and we never thought any differently, did we?
Look, give it a rest, will you? I hate this chummy nonsense, do you? I hate it. I don't trust no one, right? That's how I work. Because if you don't trust no one can let you down. So leave me alone. Go on, Scarpa. And I hadn't noticed until now, but it's unmistakable. Right there on both sleeves of that overcoat are some very suspicious red stains. What? Why are you looking at me like that? And I think it might be worth presenting some of our other findings in that area to Gina now. Oh, so you can present the blood thing. No stains on the sleeves of your new coat, Gina. They're blood, aren't they? Not that I know whose blood yet. What?
Blood, Mr. Naruhodo?
You don't appear to have any obvious wounds yourself, though. So could it be blood that spattered from Mr. Windibank when he was shot last night? Let's not beat around the bush here. This trusted friend of mine will get results much faster than anything else. Eh? Take it easy, Iris. Don't move, Jenny. I'm gonna shoot. Ooh. Oh. Oh my! What the? Forget the sleeves. The whole coat is covered in blood. Of course. The black color of the fabric was masking the stains. That's why we haven't seen them until now.
And the blood has reacted with the chemical to turn a purple color, which matches one of the samples we've already collected perfectly.
Yes, now let's see. Who had the purple blood? Ah, yes. It was the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, the victim of the murder case 2 months ago. And I knew it. What? What are you all on about? The victim? What you mean?
Rather uncomfortable situation, Mr. Naruhodo, but I think this makes things quite clear. It means the omnibus case is finally solved. The truth about who really murdered the brickmaker, Mr. Mason, is revealed.
Why? What's on? Explain what's going on. Stop telling half a story. We can see now that the victim's blood is all over Mr. McGilded's overcoat.
On the trial 2 months ago, the defendant said that in his testimony.
Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? Reached out to give the man a hand. Yeah, a hand with a knife in it. And if you look at this overcoat now, it's clear. These stains couldn't have arisen from Mr. McGilded trying to pull the victim to his feet.
No, if that was really what had happened, the blood wouldn't have splashed all over the front of the coat.
The only explanation for this pattern of blood is that it splattered over McGilded's coat when he stabbed the victim in the stomach. Now, I've tried to run from the truth for long enough, but there's no escaping it now. The true culprit in that case, Mr. Mason's killer, Magnus McGilded.
Mr. Naruhodo!
That horrible case is solved at last, and I helped the man walk free from that trial. And I used all that twisted testimony and all that sham evidence to prove his innocence. How could I have let that happen? Bruno, did you believe him, though? Did you believe Mr. McGilded was innocent? And I believed, or rather, I think I was trying to believe. I wanted to, because believing in those you represent in court is a defense lawyer's greatest weapon. A weapon? Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson.
You mean Kazuma-sama?
Listen, Rinosuke. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is a lie, which is why we must resort to our primary weapon. An unwavering belief in our clients. That is all we really have. Unwavering belief? Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. What's funny, Gina? Cool. Sounds like in this empire Japan come from, everyone must be soft. Well, come on. Look at the mess it's got you into, believing in that bog trotter. Yes, I inadvertently helped a murderer walk free. Well, at least you've learnt your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone always stabs you in the back in the end. As soon as you let down your guard, you've had it. Take a leaf out of my book. Believe no one. Get hurt by no one.
Gina, may I ask you something?
What?
I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial?
How many times do I have to say it? Rip them up and chuck them away?
Are you really sure? That's what you want?
I bet that's what he wants and all now. Mr. I'm a believer lawyer over there. Then I saw her face! You guys like the return of
Shrek karaoke, and then I saw her face, and I believe her.
However that song goes. Don't forget it was me in that trial 2 months ago. Led everyone up the garden path, didn't I? Under duress, but still, yeah. And you're telling me you can believe me after that? Not likely.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo,
A lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened. Yeah, I can trust her. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial. Eh? Are you half-baked? Not at all. You've not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth. Seriously? Mr. Naruhodo? Didn't you hear all what I said before? I'm a born liar. Fib's just a chip off my tongue. And I'm a diver, don't forget. I pulled the wool over your eyes 2 months ago, and I got in you all sorts of trouble. Why would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it.
Gina, I do understand why you choose not to put your trust in others. But I assure you, there is more to this life than you yet realize.
What you mean?
The world we live in is full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down.
Eh? It's true that I'm just a student of law, and I'm certainly lacking in courtroom experience. But I can promise you this. Whatever happens, and until my very last breath, I am completely on your side. What? What you expect me to say to that? Oh.
And it's decided. I will take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. It'd be a shame to throw them away now after it's been penned with your name so beautifully.
Do what you like. You Eastern Law. I don't know what you are. I don't get you. Oh, cute. Gina's taken herself off to the back of her cell. She'd never admit it, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out all right in the end, I think. Autosave.
Whoever's hiding there, show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice.
Mrs. Sato?
Somebody is there in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before.
What? Is it just Sholmes creeping? It's probably Sholmes creeping, isn't he? That doesn't sound like Sholmes. Blimey, you're sharp, eh? I suppose you're using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I've heard so much about. If anyone was being stealthy, it was you, Inspector. Gregsy! Oh dear me, I'm most terribly sorry, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you.
How long have you been listening in on our conversation?
Good grief, listening in? No. I just got word that there were some visitors who were refusing to leave, even though it was after hours. I assure you, your ladyship, I only just arrived this very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all it is, nothing untoward, nothing at all. After hours? Isn't that late already? No, then I'll humbly excuse myself now, your ladyship. Ta-ta, toodaloo, cheerio, all the best, bye-bye and bye. That's a lot of farewells, and not one of them appropriate for her ladyship. Oh, but I wanted to have a chat. I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the minute.
Oh, I see. That's a shame.
If I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court dealt with sharp as Lord Strongheart will, well, emergency? Lord Strongheart? Nothing, forget I said anything anyway. I'm off. All right, Gregsy, if you have to, but let's chat soon. Delighted, charmed, can't wait. If you please, my pleasure. That's a lot of pleasantries, and not one of them sounded sincere. Gregsy. Gregsy's so funny, he says such silly things. It's certainly entertaining to see an inspector of the police fawning to a 10-year-old girl. But anyway, I wonder what this emergency at the Supreme Court. Wonder what that's all about.
I must attend the court clerk's office now before it closes.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Miss Susato.
Kindly escort Iris home now, Mr. Naruhodo. I shall meet you there later.
And so our investigation came to an end. Susato-san went to file the necessary papers for my defense of China the following day. Then it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that I'd been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Susato-san would be leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan.
Naruhodo-san, it's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted.
What about you, Susato-san? Today's been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes, Gina was arrested. All in the back of the news that her father has fallen ill and that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon.
Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them.
I know exactly what you mean.
Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow.
One final task?
It's just 2 months since we've arrived in London, but we've managed to establish this office. It was finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret.
I'm so sorry, Susato-san.
It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts.
I know we've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something.
And what would that be?
It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities.
Facets?
And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we see only a small number of the total facets, and what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there are some parts we'll never lay eyes on for as long as we live.
That's so true.
Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much. But I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear. That all the facets will be illuminated, and I'll finally understand how everything fits together.
Naruhodo-san.
I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the way sometimes seems dark.
It's amazing to think it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much.
Sorry? Have what? I'm older than you, Susato. What are you talking about?
Oh no, it was nothing. Unimportant.
Oh. Man, Reinosuke being deep over here. Life lessons. Do you know what time you'll leave London in the morning?
Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I shall be leaving here at 4 a.m.
Wow. I see. Well, I'll escort you to the station.
Absolutely not.
Sorry?
I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow.
Gina's trial. Yes, I know, but...
Every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible. Even though, like me, I'm sure you'll find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try.
You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What did you mean?
Oh my! I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this.
What is that? Some huge bundle of documents.
It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus.
The McGilded case.
It seems to me that this case of Mr. Winterbank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I took the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you.
With everything else she had to think about, Susato-san still managed to do this. It all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting.
It was my pleasure.
And everybody in this episode works at Chick-fil-A.
I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina.
Thank you so much, Susato-san. I will do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world.
Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure.
Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there.
Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself.
Susato. Being sus.
Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Naruhodo-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room.
Susato-san, I
wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night.
Oh, wait. There's something I need to say.
Hiya!
What? What was that?
A secret technique of mine. The Susato shutdown.
Shutdown?
Please, I implore you. If we have to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears.
Oh. Susato-san. It truly had been a trying day. On our feet for hours, getting Gina to open up to us, and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted, and yet the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes, and as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind, eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep. Interesting. We're at St. Sinner's Hospital, Ward 3.
Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Rest assured, I shall put everything in place exactly as we have discussed.
Thank you so much. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Sholmes.
On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. I bid you farewell, and Godspeed, Miss Susato. My dear madam.
Ooh, to be continued. That's cute. She went to go say goodbye to Mr. Sholmes. Good that he's awake, so we have confirmed that he has lived, 110% confirmed that he is alive, which I am happy to see. And up next should be Trial Part 1. So, alright, that does it here for this episode. This is the first one, I must admit. I actually did have great difficulty. It was just a matter of presenting that other ticket to Gregson, but I have to go back and see how much of it I cut out, because I was floundering for, I want to say, about half an hour, just presenting different stuff and running through the motions and not getting any information. I thought maybe a couple things would progress the story. I believe there's actually, I'd clicked in the window bank, I'd clicked on the window about the gold balls, if you guys remember, where Herlock was saying,
"Oh, I'll tell you another time,"
because he didn't know what it was after he had made fun of Renosuke for not knowing what the pawn shop logo was. And then that was something we had missed. So I was like, okay, maybe we just needed to investigate everything in the shop. But it turns out And it makes sense. It makes sense, of course, presenting that ticket to Gregson. But I'd presented him some other stuff, and it just kept looping into the not wanting to talk to us.
I don't talk to you, Sunshine.
And Iris offering him tea. So I was like, maybe not. So I was trying to send stuff to Iris, just rocking around. I was like, maybe we just got to go to a bunch of different locations to kill time for Sholmes to wake up. And I did end up finding it on a walkthrough. It's a website I think I've used before when I've gotten stuck. It's considered a spoiler-free on game FAQs. Spoiler-free walkthrough. It just tells you the exact things where to point and click. And it was present to Gregson, the second ticket. So I was like, okay. So I did that, and that, of course, unlocked everything. So shout out to whoever wrote that. Didn't catch the name on the website, but must admit, did have to cheat a little bit. But yeah, first time having some difficulty here. So overall, I'm very curious to see how this plays out. As I was thinking, ever since we kept seeing creepy laughs from Mr. McGilded, that he did have something to do with the murder. And it turns out did just completely murder Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. Still don't understand what the motive was there, but apparently since Mason had the disc, perhaps they were meeting to talk about his debts, because Mason had debts that were coming up. And McGilded and him went into the omnibus together. And they talked for a long time. And then he got shanked. So I'm curious as to what the truth behind that was. Obviously, we know now that McGilded did kill him. I'm still curious as to why. Because if it's just about the money, it doesn't make sense to kill somebody who owes you money. Because in 100%, you're not getting that back. So hopefully more things will unravel here. Next up in Trial Part 1. Also, what I saw in the walkthrough, looks like we do have several parts of the trial as well. So the game's not going to be over just quite yet. So very curious. Very curious to learn more about what's going on. Actually, by the end of the week, should perfectly time it actually for us to have a weekend off. So I might do that. And then maybe, like I said, pre-record a couple episodes so that way I'm not on that day-to-day status. If I'm tired, if I had a long day at work, I don't have to force myself to sit here for another 2, 3, 4 hours getting this all recorded for you guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to go on ahead and hit that like button. Let me know your theories for what will play out here in this trial of the adventures of the unspeakable story. Why do you think it's unspeakable? Do you think it has to do with Iris's dad? Do you agree with me thinking Susato was told about this story perhaps a little bit by Iris's dad? And that's the catch that Susato feels awkward about talking about, having to reveal, of course, that Dr. Wilson has been murdered. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about it. Dr. Wilson was a professor of medicine, and the code name for the coat was Professor. Does that mean anything? Let me know your thoughts on that if you picked up on that, or perhaps I'm just being like, wow, Allie, big brain. I didn't catch that. Let me know your thoughts on that down below as well. But with that does it here for this in-game episode 5, part 4. And in playthrough, episode number 16. But of course, before I wrap this on up here, I do have to give a big shout out to all of my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so much, you all, for your above and beyond support. I absolutely, truly do appreciate it. To have 4 Ultimate Excavators, Jack Perez, Keith Muna, Mako, and Stephen Olivo. 3 Gemstone Miners of Andon, Mark Mardini, and Stephen Bly, and 1 Crystal Collector, John Michek. But again, thank you so much to all of my patrons, whether you're on a tier in which I say your name at the end of every video or not. I really, truly do appreciate that above and beyond support, so thank you so much for that, you guys. Hope you all have been enjoying this playthrough. Things really picking up here towards the end. Curious how this trial is going to play out. Curious to find out who those silhouetted people are, because they are supposedly being called as the witnesses, which is curious. It's like, why hasn't the other person been arrested for attempted murder of Herlock? I don't know. Curious to learn more about these nefarious witnesses, nefarious silhouettes, nefarious thugs, and most likely the next part, if I had to guess, they're the first people being called to the stand. But with that does it here for this episode. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. And I hope you'll join me next time as we get closer to unraveling these mysteries here on Allie's Treasure Trove. Take care, everybody, and hope to catch you in tomorrow's episode. Bye!